The president's J6 pardons were an illegal, impeachable act for which he must be held accountable. That's not opinion, that's fact. All that needs to be done to prove this is for reporters to be prepared with the right follow-up questions. Questions I've written so that the next time the president lies about J6, as he did here, it might go something like this.
You were going to meet with first responders today, but you pardoned people who assaulted first responders.
No, I pardoned people that were assaulted themselves. They were assaulted by our government.
Follow-up question, Mr. President. Joshua James, one of the J6 rioters who was convicted of seditious conspiracy, said in his guilty plea that he himself assaulted a police officer and he apologized for putting police officers in danger. So whose version of the event should we believe, Mr. President?
They were assaulted, and what I did was a great thing for humanity.
Follow-up, Mr. President. You keep saying that the J6 rioters did nothing wrong, but I have the signed guilty plea of Joshua James that says otherwise, and it's linked in my bio so all of America can take a look at it. You should take a look at it. It's really, really good nonfiction.
J.D. Vance, he said, if you committed violence on January 6th, obviously you should not be pardoned. Why is your vice president wrong?
Well, only for one reason. They've served years in jail. And we had 1,500. We have 16 under review. As you know, we commuted about 16 of them because it looks like they could have done things that were not acceptable for a full pardon.
Follow-up, Mr. President. One of those 16 you say are not acceptable for a full pardon is Stewart Rhodes, leader of the Oath Keepers, who stashed thousands of rounds of ammunition and a huge number of firearms in hotels around D.C. on J6. He told his co-conspirators, including former Oath Keeper Joshua James, to be prepared to go to the White House and use lethal force if necessary against anyone who might be sent to remove you as a result of the presidential election. The mass killing Stewart Rhodes was prepared to do in order to stop the peaceful transfer of power was so heinous he was sentenced to 18 years in prison. You released him on your first day in office. Rhodes has said his only regret is that he didn't bring a rifle to J6. He's never announced his crimes. Tell the American people how you've made them safer by releasing Stewart Rhodes back onto the streets.
These people have served years of jail, and their lives have been ruined.
One last follow-up, Mr. President. We all know what happened on J6. J5's a bit more of a mystery. We know you wanted Mark Meadows, your chief of staff at the time, to contact Roger Stone, one of your oldest friends and closest political advisors. We also know that on J5 and J6, Roger Stone's bodyguard was Joshua James, one of the convicted Oath Keepers I mentioned earlier. In tomorrow's video, we'll get into why you needed to contact Roger Stone on J5 and how much you knew about the plans for J6. You talk a lot about transparency. America can't wait for the answer to this mystery. See you tomorrow.